Hello again, Westland Lutheran Church. This is Greg Lord here again with our Courageous Stewardship. For the last few months, as you know, that we've been taking people from the congregation at random and letting them tell their story. I had an opportunity during the COVID about a year and a half ago to sit with Bishop Melissa and talk about courageous stewardship. And one of the things that she brought up during that time was allow people in the congregation to share their message. Well, COVID hit, so now we're doing it online as well as live. And so today, this is probably our sixth one during our Courageous Stewardship drive, which, by the way, we're going to keep doing as much as we can, so be ready. You may get that call. Today, we have with us none other than AnnMarie Webster. AnnMarie is going to be sharing a little bit of her story. Her husband, as you know, is David Webster, our outgoing congregational president. So, AnnMarie, with that introduction, why don't you tell a little bit about yourself and what got you here to Westland Lutheran, and a little bit about your family as well.
Sure. My husband and I have been members here. We were trying to remember if it's 13 or 15 years. What's funny is we used to live around the corner from the church and went to church downtown Portland. Oh. And then when we moved further away, we became members here.
Right, okay.
So we have 3 kids. We all 3 have been confirmed here. We have Andy, Julia, and James, and James will be graduating from Westland High School this June. And then we also have my brother, Ronnie, who has lived with us for almost 5 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Ronnie, and for those who don't know, Ronnie has Down syndrome and Alzheimer's.
Now, AnnMarie, you and David have been here, 13 to 15 years. What brought you to the doorstep of Westland Lutheran?
So we had a kind of funny, I'll give you the shorter version of this, kind of church shopping. It was hard with 3 kids to drive downtown, get them ready and be on time. And so we tried several different churches in our area, and Libby Eisensee had invited us to come here. Spencer and James were in kindergarten together. Oh. And we came here, and actually what's funny, since we normally sit over there now, that's actually where we sat the first time, and service finished, and Libby's like, what do you think? And David and I both looked at each other and we're like, it feels like home. We're going to be coming here again next week. And it was like, if there's love at first sight, we had church at first sight.
Well, with that being a home and church at first sight, you've brought some great enthusiasm here to our church, our congregation, and you have a real passion for things. What ministry here at Westland has really turned to your passion? Makes it go?
So I used to organize the Janus Youth Outreach, and from that I was invited to be on the Social Ministries Committee, and I really that just has touched my heart to be able to serve multiple outreaches within our community, and we decide which ones we will be focusing on each month.
Well, that kind of leads into my next question, which I enjoy asking, and talking about you and David both are very, very giving people. You have a tremendous passion for this congregation. But you know, you've been giving generously. Why do you do that, AnnMarie? Why do you give like that?
I think it's just nature for us. We both, if we're a part of something, we want to help it be better or maintain. And I've done, as I said, I did Janus pre-COVID. With Cheryl, we organized the volunteers, and then I've also done the Women's Advent Breakfast. And briefly, I helped with communion, but here and there, but yeah. So.
Well, AnnMarie, this leads into a big question. How is God working in your daily life right now?
For me, the best way to have God in my life is to serve others. And I think we reflect that in what we do at church, having my brother live with us, and then also what I do for a living is that I manage volunteers that help children in foster care. So And then also with my naming my brother is having someone with a debilitating disease or is not an easy process to live with from day to day. And so I feel that God gives me a lot of patience and guidance on how to give him a good quality of life of what he has.
Well, that again leads into my next question. You kind of hit on it a little bit already. How do you think your giving, time, talent, treasures, whatever, is supporting God's work?
Well, Jesus showed it that, that he would serve the least of us. And that's what led me to my career. And I think what leads me to want to help other outreaches. And then you have to, so that's of giving of our time, but then in order to support those, you do have to give financially as well so that they can exist.
You know, AnnMarie, we use the word hope a lot, both here in the church and particularly now in our world. What is your greatest hope, AnnMarie, for what God might do with the gifts that you bring to the table here at Westland or in your outreach?
To, again, kind of the other question is to serve other people, to to improve their lives, and maybe not, that might not be my picture of improvement, but whatever their picture of an improved life is, and just to make our world a better place, starting here.
As you noticed before I asked AnnMarie the last question, you've heard her use that word servant. And you're going to hear more and more about that as the church year progresses through Lent and through Easter and through Pentecost. The servant is part of the stewards of who we are. AnnMarie, in closing today, how do you feel, AnnMarie, how do you feel your life is better because of your generosity?
I feel better so a lot of times people will volunteer to help other people, but really it helps the person volunteering more. Like, I think the payout is equal on either side. You just, you want to be a productive member of society, and that's what it helps me feel, is to be a giving, productive member of society.
I'm going to throw a little curveball at you here, AnnMarie. How did this all come about with you? How did this become who you are?
I don't know if I could pinpoint that. When I was very young, my mom volunteered a lot and ran a lot of things, but my preteen and teenage years, due to some family dynamics, became a little chaotic. So she wasn't able to do that anymore. But I don't know. I just have the drive to do that. I also want to be a good example for my kids, that I hope that, and obviously no one can be exactly what you want, but, and so far, I mean, 2 are out in the world and full-on grown-ups, and they're doing good in the world, so fingers crossed for the third one. He seems like he's a pretty safe bet, though. Yeah. Or she, sorry. Yeah.
Well, once again, here's a story. And AnnMarie, I don't mean to embarrass you here, but I do believe in angels, AnnMarie. And I think your wings are tucked underneath your jacket there. You are an epitome of a great servant. You have a smile on your face, and you go about doing things with a great passion. I think we can all learn something from what AnnMarie said today to us. But this is not the end of our story. There are going to be many other stories out there that we're going to be doing from Sunday to Sunday. We may not touch everybody here and hear their story, but you can certainly, and Josh will put it up on the screen, you can certainly email me with your story. And your story will be awesome for the transition team, because those are the types of things we're going to share as we start looking and making our call for full-time ministry here. Once again, we want to thank you, and thank you for what you people are doing out there in your stewardship to Westland Lutheran and outside of our walls here. Once again, thank you again. Have a blessed, blessed day. We'll see you again.